Good evening everyone, warm welcome to Regulatory Bodies YouTube channel by Testbook. Before I start with the discussion, may I have a reply in the comment section that I'm audible, visible, everything is fine. We are good to go so that we can begin the discussion without any further delay. I can assure you guys, if you're preparing for PFRDA examination, then this session is a must watch session for you because we will be discussing many important questions from finance obviously, but we will be focusing upon those areas of finance which are generally asked in the examination and which are generally ignored by or avoided by majority students. They generally don't cover this particular topic, keeping in mind कि ये मुश्किल है, शायद मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा, लेकिन they also know back of their mind that for sure questions will be asked from this topic only. For example, questions are generally asked related to your risk management, related to the financial risk. Questions are always asked related to the financial market. If you're preparing for PFRDA, then in that particular case, there is a great probability that question will be asked related to the aspects of day-to-day operations of regulatory bodies as well. So keeping the same format in my mind, I have been formulating my session in such a manner that you should be in a position to answer the questions when it will be asked in the examination as well. So if you are ready and you want me to start with the discussion, give me yes sir. If you want to download the PDF of this particular session, that will be available on my Telegram channel. This is the entire syllabus for finance, and today what I have done is I have taken up most important topics, like I have taken up topics like derivative, I have taken up a topic that is inflation, even I have taken up a topic that is financial inclusion, Basel norms. So I have taken up those basic topics which are generally ignored by the students, or the depth of that particular topic is generally ignored by the student. And even I have included questions in such a manner for which I would say that you have for sure gone through with the concepts, you have read everything for that particular topic, but the same question when it comes in the examination, you find it pretty difficult to recall the data regarding the same. So today I will help you to recall the data, recall the concepts for the basic topics which can be asked for sure in the examination. ठीक है जी, start करें. Here we go with the first question of the evening. बहुत straightforward question आपके लिए लेकर आया हूँ. The question says debt service coverage ratio. So a question is based on debt service coverage ratio. I'm expecting that you will be giving me the correct answer. So we have 5 statements for the same, and you need to choose out the correct statements out of the given 5. So if I start my discussion with the first statement, DSCR measures cash flow available for debt servicing relative to debt obligations. So when we talk about the cash flows, or when we talk about the debt service coverage ratio, so what basically debt service coverage ratio is? So debt service coverage ratio का मतलब है कि इस साल what value of interest is supposed to be paid by the company, as well as what is the principal due for the current financial year, and with respect to the same, what is the available cash flow, that is earnings after tax plus depreciation plus interest. So with the help of this ratio, we identify the debt service coverage ratio, and it should be greater than or equals to 1.5. डेढ़ गुना होने का मतलब क्या है कि you have to pay 100, or I would say your liability is 100, but you have cash flows with you of value 150, so that you can easily manage the repayments, you can easily manage the cash flows. So this is correct. Debt service coverage ratio below 1 indicates insufficient cash flow to cover debt service. That is true. Bank generally consider an average greater than 1.5. That is true. In project finance, DSCR is equals to EBIT divided by interest plus principal. देखो जब हम ये बात करते हैं ना, when we talk about DSCR and we talk about in case of project finance, then you must understand this point very carefully, that in case of project finance, the calculation is done in this manner, that is PAT, we call it as profit after tax plus depreciation plus interest. not earning before interest and taxes, because tax is something which you are supposed to pay, that is a liability on you. So it should come in this manner: profit after tax plus depreciation plus interest. This is the value out of which you check your interest payment as well as the principal. So in that particular case, this statement is wrong. Depreciation is excluded from the numerator as it is a non-cash expense. That is wrong. That is wrong. When we talk about the depreciation, it is excluded from the numerator as it is non-cash expense. Depreciation is excluded. That is the reason depreciation is re-added. Exclude करना था इसलिए तो re-add किया. So answer is going to be B option. 1, 2, 3, 5 are correct, but the fourth statement is incorrect. Is it clear? Niharika, Rohini, please reply in the comment section. Don't sit like this. Do let me know in the comment section if the point is clear so that I can move ahead. Okay, here we go with the next question. Maximum permissible bank finance. So what is this maximum permissible bank finance? See, whenever this question is asked and you are in a position to answer this particular question, then you must know what is maximum permissible bank finance. So maximum permissible bank finance basically means the value of loan which can be given by the bank, for working capital requirements. So Tandon Committee 1974, it has suggested three methods with the help of which working capital finance is assessed. First one is Tandon 1, which talks about, in case of Tandon 1, we talk about the borrower contribution, which is 25%. Borrower contribution is 25% of working capital gap. So first statement is correct. Second point we have is Tandon Committee's second recommendation that is most widely used in India. Borrower contribution is 25% of current asset. Borrower's contribution is 25% of current asset, and bank finance is 75% of current asset minus current liability. So this is the amount which will be financed by the bank. So answer is second statement is also correct. Third statement is Tandon 3 talks about borrower contribution is 25% for the long-term funds. That is true. In India, we widely use Tandon's second recommendation. That is also true. Nayak Committee 1991, applicable for working capital limits up to 5 crores. It is applicable for working capital limits up to 5 crores. Assumption is working capital as per Nayak Committee is 25% of the projected annual turnover. 25% of the projected annual turnover, and 20% of the projected annual turnover will be given by bank, can be given by bank finance, and 5% at least is need to be given by the borrower. So on that particular scenario, if I say, I guess all the statements are correct. इसमें कुछ गलत तो नहीं है ना? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. अच्छा हाँ, sorry guys, third statement is wrong. As per Tandon 3, 25% of long-term funds. No. 25% of what, sir? 25% of projected annual turnover. That is a point. So this is wrong. So answer is going to be A option. Clear ho gaya ji? Any doubt till this point? You may ask, please. Any doubt till this point? You may ask, please, quickly. If it is done, give me yes, sir. Yes, it is relevant for RBI as well. Okay, moving on to the next question. The next question says RBI's liquidity adjustment facility. So when we talk about the RBI's liquidity adjustment facility, we know that LAF is basically the format given by RBI with the help of which banks they manage their overnight liquidity, manage their funds for short term. So in that particular context, if I talk about RAF, which all statements related to LAF are correct? First one, RAPO injects liquidity into the system. RAPO injects liquidity into the system. So in that particular case, RAPO injects liquidity into the system. That is correct, because in RAPO, banks they borrow from RBI by pledging the government securities. Money comes into the system and it is the liquidity absorption. So this is the point which is correct. Next point is reverse repo absorbs liquidity. In reverse repo, banks they park surplus funds with RBI. Money goes out of the system, liquidity absorption. So whenever we talk about reverse repo rate, we park the funds. We park the funds with RBI. So that is reverse repo absorbs liquidity. That is correct. Repo rate is less than reverse repo normally. No, that is wrong. It is always the opposite. Marginal standing facility is a collateral free borrowing facility, yes, but it is limited, and it is limited with respect to the reserves which we have in the form of SLR. Bank rate is aligned to MSF. Bank rate is aligned to MSF कहना गलत होगा. It is wrong. It is basically wrong, but bank rate आज की डेट में it is equal to MSF, that is correct. आज की डेट में it is equal to MSF, that is correct, but it will be always equal to MSF, that won't be correct. It is aligned, ऐसी कोई condition नहीं है. So in that particular case, A option is correct. I will not go with fifth option. I would say it is aligned as per the current scenario. ये तो सही है. अगर मेरे पास option हो तो I can go with 1, 4, 5. There is a confusion in this. But if I say bank rate is always equal to MSF, that would be wrong. So in that context, you can either go with A or C, but most appropriate answer for this type of question should be A option. But if you want कि नहीं sir aligned मतलब यहाँ पे they are talking about the equality, तो ठीक है, we can take for C as well. We can go it for C as well. ठीक है जी, clear हो गया point. If it is clear, just give me yes sir, so that I can move ahead. अगला question देखते हैं. अगला question क्या कहता है? Priority sector lending. Go for it. Check out the question and give me the answer. Any idea? No? Chalo, I'll give you the answer to this question. What does it say? Priority sector lending targets for the domestic commercial banks is 40% of adjusted net bank credit. Absolutely correct. Priority sector lending target for RRB is 75%. That is also correct. Agriculture sub target is 18%. That is correct. Small and marginal farmer sub target is 18%. That is also correct. Weaker section sub target has now increased to 12%. That is also correct. So I will go with D option. Lekin recently, if you remember, for urban cooperative bank, projection was 75%, but now it has stopped till 60% only, that urban cooperative banks, they will maintain target of 60%. Same goes for small finance banks, 60%, but only RRB is still in the race, which has a target of 75% in case of priority sector lending requirements. Done, ji? Moving on to the next question. Inflation indices in India. CPI combined is RBI's official inflation target. That is true. CPI combined is the RBI's official inflation target. There is no harm in this particular statement. Remember that CPI combined is designated as headline inflation, and headline inflation is basically targeted by RBI, and as per the flexible inflation rate targeting inflation targeting framework till 2026, RBI has a target of 2 to 6%, and currently as of July 2025 data, it has been recorded 1.55%. Weaker section के लिए is it 10%? No. Niharika, go and check. It has been revised. 10% तो पहले था. It has increased now. It is 12%. Please check once. Please check. I'm waiting. एक बार आप check कर लो. Done? Chalo. Moving on to the next point. WPI is published monthly by Ministry of Commerce and Industry. WPI is published monthly by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Is this point correct? Yes or no? Yes, sir, it is correct. Next is CPI is published weekly. No, sir, it is also published on monthly basis. WPI not include, WPI excludes services. That is correct. Base year for WPI is 2011-12, and there was a I would say discussion going on that the government is planning to revise the base year, but still the base year is still the same, that is 2011-12. Moving on to the next question. The next question is related to Basel norms, and that too Basel norms 3. So we have capital adequacy ratio, or we call it as capital to risk weighted asset ratio. As per RBI, it is 9%. It is 9%, and in this 9% also we have 5.5% from tier 1 capital, 1.5% from additional tier 1 capital, and 2% will be from tier 2 capital. This is 9%. So this is correct. Tier 1 capital must be greater than or equals to 6% of RWA. This is wrong. If we talk about the international level, as per the norms, it is 4.5%. As per RBI, it is 5.5. तो यहाँ India लिखा है, in India, so I'll go with, that means they are focusing, they are very clear कि हाँ भैया ये RBI से context में है तो सही है. Second statement is correct. Tier 1 5.5%. Leverage ratio in India. Leverage ratio in India is what targets it. So if we talk about the leverage ratio in India, so it is 3.5%, but as per Basel norms, India यहाँ नहीं लिखा तो I'll go with 3%. So उसके हिसाब से this statement is wrong. उसके हिसाब से this statement is wrong. ठीक? Now the next point we have is capital conservation buffer is equals to 2.5% of RWA. That is correct. अब क्वेश्चन आया कि सर 135 अगर करेक्ट है तो ऑप्शन तो इनमें से कोई भी नहीं बन रहा. कैसे? अब ध्यान से सुनो. यहाँ जो पॉइंट है ना, टीयर 1 कैपिटल और कैपिटल टीयर 1 कैपिटल, एंड द सेकंड पॉइंट वी हैव इज CET1. व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? टीयर 1 कैपिटल हमने पढ़ा. टीयर 1 कैपिटल ऑफ द बैंक बेसिकली टॉक्स अबाउट द total capital. Tier 1 capital is basically the total capital, which is common equity tier 1 capital plus additional tier 1 capital. So this is collectively, both are under the same banner, that is tier 1 capital. So tier 1 capital कितना होना चाहिए? So this is 5.5 plus 1.5, 7% greater than 6. Common equity tier 1 capital, this is common equity tier 1 capital, so that is greater than 5.5%. that is correct. So उसके हिसाब से अगर हम चले तो आंसर क्या होगा? A option 1, 2, 3, 5 are correct. समझ आ गई बात? Is this point clear? निहारिका कहाँ गलती कर रहे थे? आई होप अब आपको क्लैरिटी आ गई होगी. मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Policy Committee, sir, it includes 6 members in total, and this committee is chaired by governor. He is the ex officio chairperson of this committee. 3 members are nominated by RBI, 3 members are nominated by Government of India. They must have used the term appointment, but ठीक nomination, if the word is nomination, we'll go for it, will not declare it wrong. The tenure of 4-year member, or the tenure of 3 members appointed by Government of India, is 4 years. That is correct. RBI governor has casting vote in case of tie. Yes sir, RBI governor will cast an extra vote in case of tie. Decision taken under the Monetary Policy Committee under simple majority. That is correct. Simple majority का मतलब अगर 6 members हैं and all the members are present, so 50% of total members present plus 1, so 4 out of 6. If ये voting मिल जाती है, then the decision will be accepted, then the norms will be accepted. ठीक है जी, clear हो गया point. Moving on to the next question. NBFC classification. NBFC accepting deposits are allowed to issue demand deposits. NBFCs accept deposit, that is correct, but they are allowed to accept demand deposit? No sir, that is not correct. That is absolutely a wrong statement. NBFCs, they are not allowed to accept demand deposits. Next point is NBFCs, they must obtain net own fund requirement of 10 crores. That is correct. That is correct. Whenever we talk about Monetary Policy Committee, Niharika, minimum 4 members are need to be present. Then only we will say that Monetary Policy Committee meet is accepted or it is counted, and in a year Monetary Policy Committee should meet at least 4 times. तो 4 बार मिलना एक साल में, ये क्राइटेरिया, और हर मीटिंग में मिनिमम 4 मेंबर्स होने जरूरी है. Systematically important NBFC's asset size is greater than or equals to 500 crores. That is correct. NBFC, which is microfinance institute, must lend greater than or equals to 85% to the microfinance borrowers. To the microfinance borrowers, microfinance institutes के केस में क्या ये वैल्यू 85% है और it is revised? अगर आपको याद हो, as per the latest RBI guidelines, these criterias, they have been revised recently. Anyone can give me the answer? Anyone can give me the answer कि अब इसे रिवाइज करके कितना कर दिया? 3 लाख रुपए आपकी हाउस होल्ड इनकम होनी चाहिए, कोलैटरल फ्री लोन दिया जाएगा, और लोन की जो साइज है, लोन का जो साइज है, that will be depending upon your term of borrowing. That will depend on your term of borrowing. बट ये बताओ कि सर इसे अब बढ़ाकर 85% कर दिया या इसे कम करके 60% कर दिया? एनी आइडिया? ठीक है, तो अगर मैं बात करूं 2011 की, तब ये 85% था, रिवाइज किया गया, इसे ईज करके 75% किया गया. नाउ इट हैज बीन फर्दर ईज्ड to 60%. So remember that 60% of the total asset, 60% of the total asset. So greater than equals to 85% to the eligible microfinance borrowers. अब ये जो statement है, that is not applicable as of today. It has been revised now. तो ये 60% का target है of total asset. So in that particular case, you have to go with the answer. ठीक है जी. अगला point आता है, NBFCs are regulated under Companies Act 2013. Yes. And RBI Act. Yes. So answer is going to be 2. Answer should be second statement is correct. Third statement is correct. Third statement is correct, as well as fifth statement is correct. So answer is going to be C option. Sorry, D option. Answer is going to be D option. Next, balance of payment. Current account record, trade and goods and services, income and transfers. That is correct. Capital account में FDI, FPI, borrowings ये included है, लेकिन remittances included नहीं है. अगर remittances included नहीं है तो उसके हिसाब से अगर हम चले तो second statement क्या हो जाती है? Incorrect हो जाती है ना? उस हिसाब से हमारी जो second statement है that goes incorrect. Balance of payment always balances in accounting sense. हाँ, obviously it should be balanced in the accounting sense. तभी तो इनकमिंग विल बी इक्वल्स टू आउटगोइंग, वरना ज्यादा आउटगोइंग कैसे होगा जब इनकमिंग ही नहीं है. India's current account is usually surplus. No, India's current account is usually deficit in nature. Capital account liberalization is fully achieved in India. No, sir. Capital account liberalization is not fully achieved in India. तो उसके हिसाब से अगर हम चले 1 and 3 are correct. So A statement is correct. Second, fourth and fifth statement are wrong. So A option is the correct answer. Last question. अच्छा एक second. So answer should be B option, है ना. इसको ठीक कर लेते हैं. Give me a second. Answer should be B option. Done. Last question of the evening. Financial Stability and Development Council, chaired by RBI Governor. Financial Stability and Development Council is chaired by RBI Governor. Give me an answer. Is this point correct? No, sir. It is not chaired. No, sir. It is not chaired by RBI Governor. Rather, if I'm not wrong, it is chaired by the Finance Minister of the country. It is chaired by Finance Minister of India. Second point over here is Financial Stability and Development Council is not chaired by RBI Governor. It is chaired by the Union Finance Minister. Deals with inter-regulatory coordination and financial stability. That is correct because it is the main agenda or mandate, because it is basically set up to strengthen the financial stability coordination among the regulators and macroprudential supervision. It has no statutory backing. That is correct because FSDC was set up in 2010 by the government of India, not under an act. So it has no backing. That is correct. This is correct. This is wrong. Fourth statement is include heads of all regulators along with finance secretary, chief economic advisor and others. That is correct. Fifth statement says that has a subcommittee chaired by RBI. Yes, sir. The FSDC subcommittee is chaired by RBI Governor, dealing with more technical or supervisory matters. So answer is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5. That is A option is correct. First statement is wrong. So answer is going to be A option. Niharika, absolutely correct. So these are some of the questions which can be asked directly or indirectly in your PFRDA, SEBI, IFSCA and even RBI Grade B examination from finance. If it is clear, if it is correct, give me yes sir, so that we can conclude the discussion, and I will be catching you all in the upcoming sessions to go. Bye bye, take care, good luck, God bless you all.